What's going on, Soul Tribe? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and bringing another little nugget to add to the Soul Tribe archive. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the North Node in Capricorn in the 10th house. And this is a pretty cool one. Now, when you talk about the North Node, a couple things you may hear referred to as the Dragon's Head or as Rahu. But the North Node is one that when you're talking about, you're also always going to be talking about the South Node because they're opposite one another. And whereas the South Node, you can think of it as where you've been. This is your past, the wisdom that you can call from to see where you are going. And that's where one of the things the North Node covers. This could be, I like to think of it as the house that you're wanting to achieve a mastery over, that you're wanting to excel in this, or you're wanting to conquer this portion of your chart. And this is where we're going into uncharted territories and things like that. So very interesting when you talk about, when you examine that North Node placement. It can tell you quite a bit. And then you get to Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and they are the cardinal earth sign. They're receptive in nature. And I find that with Capricorn, they are one of the Earth's energy is they're great with the material. And so Capricorn is one of the builders, one of the goals. And I like to think of it as one manifestation of cardinal Earth is being born, this body here. And so Capricorn, I think there's this energy of thinking about what are your goals on this journey? What do you want to build with this thing? You came to existence to do something. And I think that that's not something that you have to rush with Capricorn. This is one where there's a patience. They are thinking about the long game, considering that Saturn is their ruler. But that long game is going to be something extraordinary. This is going to be something where we're building empires, things that that you're going to be remembered by here, your legacies, in a sense. It's a really cool energy that Capricorn can bring. And then this is a great place for all this energy to be in, because you got the 10th house. The 10th house is the midheaven. There's the midheaven house, and then there's actually the midheaven point. So there is a bit, can bring some little bit confusion there, because if you're using whole signs, sometimes the midheaven can fall in the 9th house or in the 11th house. So that's something. There is a difference between the midheaven as a house and the midheaven as a point, which both are important. But when you talk about the midheaven, some of the themes that this is an angular house, this is a strong house. This is outside of yourself. The first house, this is the second best house in traditional astrology. But some of the themes that this covers are your rank, your honors, your reputation, social status, your achievements, your ambitions, the thing, the actions and like masteries of a skill, how you're like you it could even be like your profession. This could be like your occupation, your vocation, things that people are recognizing you for here when we're talking about the 10th house. So when you're working with this placement, a couple things: you have an Aries rising by whole sign, but you're going to want to look to see where Saturn's at, because Saturn's going to be in charge of this house and your 11th house, of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your connections. So Saturn's playing a really big portion, a big part in your chart here. But on a real base level, this one's kind of an easier one to work with. Is, I mean, not maybe not easier to work with, but to talk about is what are your long term goals? What are some things, and it doesn't have to be just one goal. I think with Capricorn, I think maybe sometimes we can get that I just have to do this one thing. You can do a couple things. You have like a 5-year plan, a 2-year plan, 20-year plan. I had a friend's son in Capricorn. He was going to be building these avocado trees and invest in these avocados. They take like some 40 years to grow, but he's leaving behind a wealth of avocados, which, I mean, that's if you're going to be wealthy in something, I mean, why not? So that's what I mean. This could be maybe what's your avocado dream. And I think with the 10th house, it's just like, what do you want people to remember you for, and not what people expect you to be. One thing I could see maybe coming up in that opposite, that south node end, is people putting their expectations on you, feeling like you have this obligation to be something, to be this thing that the other people want you to be. But it's like, what are your goals, your aspirations, your dream? This is all about you. This is, so that's something I think that's that's worth looking into. But I think even too, like, they're learning different masteries of different skills, whatever that looks like. If you happen to be a carpenter, or if you happen to be like taking an apprenticeship, like really honing these crafts. And yeah, taking your time with this. This is not one where you need to have the answer right now, but it's just like thinking about what feels in alignment with myself, what goes with that. Because I mean, your Aries rising, you're thinking about, there's that conflict between, there's a natural square between the 10th and the first house. So there's always going to be that, who am I supposed to be and how do I want that to be recognized? Whether this is the, maybe you want to be the family person, but I think that there's even a line there where it's cool to be a parent and all these things, but eventually your kids are going to grow and go out and do their own dreams. And I think living through the family is only going to be good. It's going to go eventually, is going to come down to what else, what are you leaving the family behind, in a sense. What groups are you getting involved with? How do you, because I think there is a sense of, and not at the detriment of others, but I do think that there's someone like very goal oriented would be something that I would explore. Or like, or having those different dreams. And not just climbing the ladder just because, climbing it because it means something to you, and it's like it's a true expression of who you are. So, but those are just some basic things that I would talk about with this placement. You need the whole chart definitely to get a better picture of this. And if you happen to have this placement or know someone who does, leave a comment how this may be manifesting. And if you're wanting to work with these placements more intentionally, down in the description box is a way to get in touch with me, and we can talk about the different services that I provide and find which one that's appropriate for you, and go from there. Building relationships, networking. And also, if you want to just kind of see what's going on in the celestial transits, kind of work with the energy, see when the next retrograde's coming up, or when planets are getting ready to move all into your, especially for an Aries rising, you got Saturn that's about to move there soon. That's a tricky one for Saturn. And even Neptune, now the planet's going to be moving into your first house. It's going to be an interesting time for Aries risings, I think. So if that's something you want to keep track of, check that out. It's on the same channel here. And then if you want to follow the lunar shenanigans, there's a link for my other channel, the Chariot and Friends, where I talk about what sign the moon's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void, of course, how to work with those energies, and do a tarot card reading. And I'm actually going to be starting to, I'm really excited about this. I'm going to be unveiling a new little segment on that channel here soon. So definitely check that out, the grand unveiling. But it'll be for the Pisces, when we get into the Pisces moon. So just to give you a little heads up once we get into that new moon. But all right, until next time, keep mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.